Close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're underwater. Darkness in every direction. The strain of pressure that surrounds you. And then you hear it. Not something that sounds like an animal. Doesn't sound like a machine. It sounds like laughter from somewhere beneath. Suppose you have something better still. You cannot hear it. You simply feel its shadow pass over your head. Something so huge the sea bends around it. Two legends, two terrors. One built on sound, one built on scale. Tonight we're going deep, and all that lives down there does not remain a secret. We may begin with the one that is inside your head. The Sea Eater. The internet was another place in the early 2000s. No algorithms deciding what you see, no content filters, raw forums, early YouTube site pages, and individuals posting whatever they could not essentially explain. And amidst all of that, somewhere, there was some sound clip. No one could know the origin of it. No one could come to consensus on what it was. However, there was one thing that everyone was unanimous in their opinion. It was seriously, radically wrong. It was metallic, as though something was tearing under the surface. However, below that, there was a rhythm, a pulse, almost like breathing. And superimposed upon all the other things was one thing that paralyzed people. A sound that is most described as laughter, not human laughter. Something older, something that in itself had no need to be amused, and yet was. So that was the origin of the name, the Sea Eater. Not simply a beast that is found in the sea, a thing that owned it, such a powerful predator that it could afford to laugh. Stories exploded around it. Some of them said that it was the hunting call of a giant prehistoric creature driven out into the deep water. Others said it was evidence of a new Leviathan, which the scientific community had not yet discovered and which was emerging out of the deep and asserting itself. And then the videos arrived. Grainy, shaky, always only just out of focus. Ocean shots, surface disturbances, giant forms shattering waves, mouths agape wider than they should be, never clear at the critical moment, and always accompanied with the same audio. The laugh? Were they real? Almost certainly not. The majority of them were horror edits. Creepypasta productions created to frighten. The individuals who created them were not amateur, and they knew what they were doing. But here's the thing, the Sea Eater does not disappear, even knowing all that. Since the sound in itself is sufficient to make your brain do something it cannot stop doing. The sound begins to fill in the blanks. Such distorted, rhythmic, mocking laughter will make you imagine something real behind the waves, just out of sight, watching, amused. That's the Sea Eater's power. It doesn't need evidence. It only requires your imagination to take one step. But once the Sea Eater gets in your head, GRAN MAJA gets it something deeper. It doesn't hunt you. It doesn't notice you. And somehow, that's worse. The Sea Eater is spread through sound. GRAN MAJA spreads through images, and something even stronger than fear, scale. In the mid to late 2000s and 10s, there was a growing type of content on the internet, speculative evolution, deep-sea creature design. The question that artists and animators posed was very precise. In the deep sea, where there's no light, no ceiling, no boundaries, evolution has no boundaries. So what would it create? GRAN MAJA was the extreme answer to this question. The animated videos started being posted on the internet. Dark water, crushing depth, nothing but blackness, and then something moving, something immense, not rushing, not aggressive, just moving. The way a continent moves, slow, unavoidable, unconcerned with anything in its path. The design was deliberate, multiple rows of teeth, intelligent eyes that were not warm. A body that made whales look like goldfish, and that gradual, overwhelming motion, as though speed had never been its nature, as though nothing had ever given it reason to hurry. Sea monsters looked small in comparison. That was the point. GRAN MAJA was not the first internet creature to cause fear, but that is not what made it different. It wasn't a jump scare. Nothing was being hunted in the frame. It just existed, and that existence made everything else feel temporary and unstable. It spread not because it deceived people, but because the question it raised felt worth asking. What if deep sea evolution, shaped by crushing pressure, permanent darkness, and millions of years, produce something we have no framework to compare? What if the deep ocean was not merely a refuge for bizarre things, but for something structurally beyond our understanding? That thought did not stay in the animation comment sections. It moved, and gradually, GRAN MAJA stopped being an artistic project. It began to become a phenomenon. A quick reminder, subscribing and liking the video is the simplest way to support this channel. The psychology. Why both went viral. This is worth considering. The two creatures produce entirely different types of fear, and that is exactly why both of them worked. The sea eater causes personal terror, the fear of being hunted, the dread of a presence that knows you and is taking a particular interest in you. When that audio plays, your brain does not process it as abstract. It registers it as a direct threat. That's primal. Millions of years of survival instinct at work. GRAN MAJA does not provoke the same. Existential fear, the fear of irrelevance, the terror of encountering something so enormous that you do not even register as a presence to it. The implication is that being overlooked by something that large is worse than being prey. At least a predator acknowledges you exist. One monster is personal, the other is philosophical. And the ocean gave them both a home, since the ocean is the only place on Earth convincing enough to host both types of terror together. There is also the psychology of the unknown. The deep sea is truly unexplored. That is not mythology. That is oceanographic fact. Real creatures down there already look alien. The goblin shark, the barrel-eye fish, the angler fish with its bioluminescent lure hanging above rows of transparent teeth. Evolution down there is not guided by the same aesthetic rules as life on land. And so, when someone presents something impossible and asks, what if? Your brain does not instantly reject it, because what already exists down there is strange enough that disbelief has no solid ground to stand on it. That is what both creatures exploited. Not stupidity, not gullibility, just rational uncertainty about one of the least understood environments on Earth. But uncertainty is not evidence, and there must come a point when the lights come on. The reality check. Let's start with the sea eater. The most convincing explanation points to the call of the common loon, a real bird with one of the strangest voices in nature. Take a loon call, slow it down, shift the pitch, filter it through digital distortion. What you get is nearly identical to the sea eater audio. The laugh was already in it, because loons produce sounds the human brain naturally reads as laughter. The processing simply amplified and sharpened that quality. No oceanographic record has ever documented anything matching the sea eater legend. No sonar data, no verified research vessel sightings, no physical evidence of any kind. The original audio spread through forums and early YouTube with no confirmed source. And the footage that followed exploited a well-known psychological truth. When an image is out of focus and the subject barely visible, the human mind automatically fills in the missing detail. Creature video makers know this. Keeping things blurry is a deliberate choice. Now, GRAN MAJA. GRAN MAJA is a confirmed fictional creation, designed by animators specifically to explore speculative deep-sea horror. It was built to visualize extreme hypotheticals, not to represent biological research. The scale, physical design, and the movement were all deliberate artistic choices. But beyond the fictional origin, there are real scientific reasons why a creature matching GRAN MAJA's description could not exist. First, energy. The deep ocean is not a food-rich environment. It is the opposite, a low-energy, low-food ecosystem where species have adapted toward efficiency rather than size. A predator of that scale would require an enormous, constant food supply. The deep sea simply cannot provide it. Second, oxygen. Deep water is typically oxygen-poor. Large active predators require substantial metabolic support. The deep ocean does not offer the conditions to sustain it. Third, pressure and structure. Extreme depth creates compounding structural problems at large scales: tissue compression, buoyancy control, skeletal load. The biology does not support the design. The giant squid and the sperm whale are real deep-sea giants that evolved within these hard ecological limits. GRAN MAJA exceeds them by orders of magnitude. No sonar detections, no biological remains, no verified encounters, no evidence of any kind, because there is nothing to find. 2 legends, 2 investigations, same conclusion. What remains true? I'd like to take a moment to thank all our new subscribers for your support. Thanks for watching. This is, however, where it becomes interesting, because ruling out the legends is not the same as ruling out the ocean. New marine species are still being discovered with real regularity. Deep-sea ecosystems remain severely undersampled. High-resolution mapping of the ocean floor is still incomplete in ways that would surprise most people. Sound travels through water with extraordinary efficiency, which is part of why unexplained acoustic phenomena in ocean research don't always have immediate answers. The ocean is still strange. That's not mythology, that's science. What the SeaEater and GRAN MAJA got wrong was not the premise. The idea that the deep ocean might still hold things we haven't discovered. The mistake was the execution. Real discovery does not come from manipulated audio and deliberately blurred footage. It comes from research vessels, sonar arrays, remotely operated underwater vehicles, and years of painstaking data collection. And real discoveries are being made. Just quieter, just slower, just less cinematic. The sea does not need manufactured monsters to be remarkable. It already is. This is what both legends actually reveal. When human beings are faced with the unknown, we do not sit in silence and wait. We fill it with something. Sometimes that is art, sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's both at once. The SeaEater and GRAN MAJA were not real, but the impulse that created them is. The sea needed monsters, and so we built them. And the truth is, what's actually down there doesn't need our help to be terrifying. If you want to find out what real deep sea discovery looks like, subscribe. More is coming.